Episode 8, the Faction Podcast.
What's
That's a
good, guys?
Number. That's a good number.
8 is your favorite number?
It is my favorite number.
We have a special
8,
guest.
the great.
We have a special
me.
guest.
Womp.
My beautiful wife, the most beautiful woman that God ever created.
Debatable.
No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Maybe to you, but
I'm honored that you would come on our podcast.
I am honored to be the first guest.
Yeah.
Why do you guys want me to be the first guest? I don't do nothing.
Because we don't have nobody else.
Oh, okay, fair.
Well, we should probably introduce you before we start talking
Man,
about stuff.
everybody knows who I am.
Oh,
No, right
No.
now.
You're on YouTube. This is a lot of people
Yeah,
watching.
we
There's
got
thousands
Amy.
and millions of people.
I got
Amy,
more subscribers than y'all on YouTube right now.
Amy, yeah, but you got less
But y'all
videos
are
than
more
us. You know what I'm
consistent
saying?
than me,
This is
yeah.
video 8. You know what I'm saying? We ain't missed a week yet.
I was playing anyway.
Yeah, Amy with 2 E's.
Amy.
Witters, my wife, a woman of God, mother, an esthetician, my best friend, the person who changed my life, who never gave up on me.
She almost gave up.
Yeah, never gave up on me.
Never give up.
You making me nervous. Makeup looking right. You look comfortable. You feel good.
Yeah,
you need
I
anything?
feel better than the first time we tried to do this.
Well,
For
take
sure.
it easy, putting your arm around
Me
me.
too.
It's not that kind of party, bro.
Are you done?
Yep.
All right.
So who are you?
Well, you already told everybody who I am.
Who do you
what
think
do you?
you are?
Yeah. What do you think? Who do you think you are?
I'm Amy Witters. I am a Jesus lover, a
Jesus.
mom, a wife, an esthetician, a friend. That's pretty much it. Just try to live my life for God.
The coolest singer in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Worshiper,
that. Oh yeah, I'm a worshiper.
trendsetter, a go-getter,
I don't know about
wearing a
that.
gray sweater.
Oh, dang. Bars.
That's all I got.
Anyways,
So,
how's your day been, Amy?
yeah, that's how we usually start off.
Yeah. How's your day?
Tell us about your day, your week.
What did you do today?
My day was really busy. I took the kids to school, then went to work, then picked them up, got dinner for the fam, came home. I was super exhausted for reasons I'm sure you'll tell everybody about.
Yeah, so my
and
wife is pregnant.
because I am pregnant,
Hopefully it's a girl. Everybody watching us pray for a girl
fully
because
believing it's a girl.
she'll probably beat
We're
me up.
very intentional with the prayer, so I feel like it will be a
Yeah, it's
girl.
gonna be a girl. Cause this guy needs a girl.
Yeah,
Yeah. I need 2 daughters, 2 sons, and I'm out.
let's go.
You know why I think it'll be good if it's a girl? Because I have like a 16-year-old daughter, and then we have 2 sons. So it's like there's no way she's going to get away with anything.
What's crazy is I remember when I got pregnant with Christian and I was just praying that he was a boy because I was terrified to have a daughter, and now I really want a daughter.
It's coming.
I feel like God put that on my heart because how long did I tell you no?
Yeah.
For like 2 years, I was like, no, I'm done having kids. And then one day I was just like, I might not. I guess I would regret possibly not having another kid, but I'll never regret having another
Facts.
kid.
Yeah. Now you're a
Never
senior
gonna be like,
citizen.
oh man, I wish I wouldn't have had that one. You know?
Kids are the biggest blessing. The only thing you regret is not spending more time with the ones that you have, man.
Well, and being a woman and being able to like create life inside of you, it's a very empowering.
That is
beautiful
amazing. That
experience.
only women can create
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Only
Wait,
women
what do you mean?
have
It's amazing.
a womb.
What do you mean? I can't.
Oh yeah. Women
Oh,
are the
just-
only ones that
just-
create life.
You're just gonna upset people off the jump.
Oh no, we're not.
they upset themselves.
Yeah.
Don't get offended.
Don't get offended. Offended boys and girls.
We love you.
2 genders only.
We love you. Yeah.
Offended is offense.
Yeah.
You're
Offense.
trapped.
Don't trap yourself.
How does
Shout
it
out Pastor
feel to
Jabin.
be a senior citizen having a baby?
Hey,
A
man, you know this is my
blessing.
wife, right?
No, like
You
it
want to see
really-
somebody
it-
get hold on. You want to see somebody get knocked out on live TV?
Yeah, let me see who.
You,
Yeah, okay.
man. Candace is looking for you, dog.
That's a good one. You ever met Candace?
No,
No. She's never
Who's
met.
Candace?
you got
Wait, fill me in.
nah.
Nah,
Maybe
Candace, you don't need Candace.
you never need to worry about Candace.
You've met Candace for sure.
Oh, I have.
No, she likes candies, not
Oh, okay.
Candace.
I feel like we're going to have to talk about this after this episode.
This is a good one.
I need clarification.
For sure, she likes candies.
Yeah. Everybody likes candy.
Not me.
Yeah,
I
you
have
do.
no idea what
You like
guys are
Mexican
talking
candies
about.
for sure, bro.
Me. No, I don't like candy.
You
So
like them
anyway,
little-
let me just answer the question since I have no idea what you two little girls are talking about over here.
Okay.
Identify as a
It
man.
is definitely
Facts. Big men.
a blessing because I'll be
Oops.
39 in September. And I think you lose half your eggs by the time you're 35. So that's another reason I really believe it's a girl, because I asked God, if it isn't a girl, I don't want to be pregnant. But also, I'm about to be 39, and it took us like 3 months to get pregnant, which is amazing.
3 months. How it sounds like somebody else's fault, not yours.
Immaculate conception too, because it's not like she don't even hug me no more. We've been together for how long?
That's what I'm saying. So that's why.
That's crazy.
This
Hey, I
baby
have a
is-
real question. Why do women do that? Like, why don't you guys ever touch us after? Like, after we love, like,
Yeah,
are
we've been
married
together 15 years.
or, like, been together. So why?
I think intimacy starts in the beginning of the day, and I think a lot of guys just expect you to like, all right, let's go. And for women, we're emotional, where you guys are like physical. So I need you to set the tone for me, as soon as I wake up. Tell me I'm beautiful.
I literally
grab
tell
me
you-
a coffee,
I literally tell you you're beautiful every
text
day.
me some stuff, like, get me emotionally ready.
So, okay, wait. So, you would say that women are emotional beings.
100% we're
All right,
emotional.
perfect. There you go. A woman just admitted that.
100%.
All right, cool. I'm just making sure.
We are.
Continue.
We're emotional, and I feel like men are more logical. I think that's just a fact. That's why when we vent about stuff and we're emotional about stuff, men want to just automatically go in and solve it. But sometimes, at least for me, I just want you to listen to me and like sit in it with me, or just be like, man, that sucks. I don't always want a solution. Sometimes I do.
All right.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't have nothing to say. I'm not trying to get beat up today.
Don't worry, I got your back.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things too. We've been married for 10 years, been together for 15, so it's like you don't feel like you have to try anymore, I guess.
But you do,
Like
I feel like.
Well, no, for her.
Oh.
She knows I'm not going anywhere.
Now.
Because
yeah.
you've been everywhere.
Yeah. She knows I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I made before. And so it's not like she has to, like she can do whatever she wants. Literally.
I feel like trauma's kind of changed me a little bit too. Like,
That's just an excuse in my opinion.
to you, it's an opinion. But
What do you mean
I
trauma?
feel like it's
Can you elaborate?
I feel like
No, we got to get into like the stories
No,
and then you
wait.
can go into the trauma stuff.
No, wait, we could go in.
that is
Go ahead.
part of the story, though.
Go ahead.
I feel like you need to start off
Okay.
telling us how you got where you're at, where you
Okay.
came from. We got plenty of time.
All
We're
right,
not
go
in a,
ahead.
we're not in a
Ask me
hurry.
some more questions, and that'll lead into.
What's your origin story? Like your superhero? Like how'd you become? Like end up here in Las Vegas
Yeah, where'd you come
with
from?
me
with me?
in Faction House Studios?
That's what you're calling it?
I don't know. Sounds good.
We're not calling it nothing.
Faction Studios.
Okay. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, home of the chicken wing, best pizza around.
Nah, best wings for sure.
You don't think we got the best pizza?
No,
Really?
no.
Who do you think has the best pizza?
Cugino's.
Cugino's.
Gugino.
Actually, yeah, that's valid. They're in New York.
is this a
pizza spot.
Is this a family from New York that's here?
They're from Italy. Yeah.
Oh, is it even better?
But they're like New York City, but still New York. Like, that's the type of pizza I like. When I first came here and went to all the other spots, pizza out here is not very good. Anyways,
Cugino's fire.
agreed. So I am from Buffalo. I had a boyfriend at the time who
What?
was in a hip hop group.
What do you mean you had a boyfriend before me? You didn't never tell me this.
Okay. You had a girlfriend while you were with me, so
Damn, she got me.
Dang, several girlfriends.
really you can't say none. Dang, several girlfriends?
I didn't-
Probably like 10.
I didn't have any
dang.
girlfriends.
Probably 10. Probably
Right.
3 at the club, 2
Stop.
outside the club.
Now he's over
This
exaggerating.
guy.
That's
So
fine.
yeah, I had a boyfriend who was in a hip hop group with his brother,
Hippity
and
hop.
we started dating.
Was he
and-
black?
No, he's white.
Oh, he was white.
So a white rapper.
He had long blonde hair.
You actually seem
started-
like a pretty cool guy.
Obviously
You know,
not.
when you're
She's not with him.
young, you don't realize certain ways that people treat you are really like abusive. And so that was not a healthy relationship at all. But he ended up moving out here to work with some people for music. We did a show out here. We did shows all over the place. He decided, him and his brother, they wanted to move out here and work with this other group. I wasn't going to move, and then I got laid off at my job. And my mom was the one who pushed me to move here. And so I did. And then
So
I
for
ended
what?
up...
Like, what did you move here for?
I thought I was moving here for music. Like, we were going to make music.
What kind? So
And my goal, you know,
you
was
were a
like
rapper
to be,
too,
you
or-
know, to be famous. No, I was a singer.
She was a backup
So,
singer, right?
so they were the rappers. You were the singer. You're like Aaliyah,
Yeah, kind of. Except I'm white.
and he was too. You don't have to be a certain
Chin Leah.
Chiniqua, bro.
Chinagua.
Chin Niqua.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what like color your skin is. You can do whatever music.
Aaliyah was my favorite. But anyway,
You're my favorite.
thanks.
All right, so you moved out here.
So I moved out here, thought I was going to do music. That relationship was extremely...
Why don't you sing for us so we can make sure you actually know how to sing?
I can't really
Star
sing.
Spangled Banner. Go.
Amazing Grace, go.
No, you guys are making me
Come on.
nervous.
Pass the Dutch. Go.
One Blood, go.
What?
All right,
One
go ahead.
Blood. Dun, 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 dun.
Continue
Oh,
with your
man.
story.
How am I going to follow that up?
All right, go ahead. Sorry. We get distracted. All right.
Yeah, now I don't know where I was at. Oh yeah, so thought I was gonna do music out here. That relationship was extremely emotionally abusive. And so one of his girlfriends was a dancer at Sapphire.
Like, what kind of dance? Like, pop locking?
Private dance. You know what I'm saying? That's not my real singing voice. either.
Entertainer?
Yes, but he was like, you should go work there and be a cocktail waitress. I'd never been a cocktail waitress. I lied on my resume. Dave quizzed me on liquors, and I filled out a resume and like lied about working at some strip club in Buffalo.
So this was a strip club you're talking?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Got hired on the spot.
I know all the answers to these.
I
two.
had, like,
Just asking for you guys.
maroon hair, like fuchsia colored hair back then.
Like Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah. And
You got Jessica Rabbit's
I
skin
had
tone.
And booty. Sorry.
All right.
Bleep that out. Sorry, she's my wife. I can say whatever I want.
All
So
right.
yeah, I got hired on the spot, started working there. I think I was there for a year before you came,
Yep.
but that's where I met you. I met you at the club.
Yep. How did what
That was a good one.
So then what? You fell in love at first sight?
No. So I guess you had been watching me for a while or whatever. And you came in the VIP one night.
I was
while we were
watching you
closing
watching
up.
me.
Nobody was watching you.
All right, so then I'll pick it up from here.
He's gonna lie, so
I'm not gonna lie. You lied on your job application.
facts.
Uh,
I've changed now though.
true. We'll talk about that later also.
Okay.
So I was working there. I was 23. You were 23 too. You started when you were 22. Started. All right. And I had just got out of a really bad relationship too. And I had like a daughter that was like a year old. I feel like we didn't start talking till
Gene's like just scrolling on his phone, not even listening to us
You're
at
not
all.
supposed
Man,
to-
I'm
Like,
listening.
I don't need to hear this.
you're not supposed to pay attention to what he's doing.
I'm listening. I'm getting my
Sorry,
questions
that's
ready,
me.
actually.
We could cut that. We could cut
Nah, it's
Nah.
not.
Put
It's
him on
staying in
blast.
there. Yeah, guys,
Oh.
I'm on my phone real quick.
So
that. Oh, maybe he's looking at the questions he's gonna ask me. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it was.
yeah, so I was working there for a
Don't
while.
be mad.
And you stuck out of everybody because you would literally walk in, head down, not be like an hour early to work every day,
Yeah, I was
Not-
about my money. It's what I
not
cared
flirt
about.
with anybody, walk straight back to the VIP room and start working, and then leave like 2 hours later than everybody else and head down, not flirt with nobody, leave. So that was the first thing I noticed about you. Second thing I noticed about you is we used to have a karaoke room. So I went in there one time to chill and you were singing. You had your cheeks out, and I was like, oh dang, she can sing and she got body and her
What
face spread.
cheeks? Like her face cheeks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
No,
then
we had to wear these like little skirts.
yeah, it's a strip club. She wasn't naked or nothing, but
I mean, I know. I was just kidding. It was a
Um,
joke.
and then thirdly, I remember I was like in the VIP like bar well, and you were talking to some other waitresses, and they're talking about the dude is like my best friend. Like every girl liked him, and you were like, he's too much of a pretty boy for me. And I was like, yes. So she'll never talk to my best friend. So
Yeah, I think I could feel he was a manipulator and a liar too from the jump, which is why we never had a very good relationship. But
yeah. So then you invited me to breakfast.
no, I did not.
Well, yeah, you did.
You invited yourself.
Well, you were like, didn't say no.
I'm a nice girl. Why would I say no?
She was
I
scared.
was like, I guess.
She was scared of
She
you.
literally sat right next to me at breakfast. So what's that tell you? There's 10
You
people
sat
there.
next to me or I sat next to you?
I was sitting down first. You came and sat by me and pulled your feet
It was
out.
a long time ago, so I don't remember, but I don't think that is true.
You sat next to me. You pulled your feet out. You said, I really need a pedicure.
No, I
Wait,
said
time
I
out.
really need a
Made-
pedicure, and you were like, pull them things out. Let
no,
me
and
see.
you made me touch your feet.
I made you. You
Yeah.
grabbed them things with a quickness
I don't remember. 15 years
and
ago.
was like, you look like you walk on clouds all day.
It's true.
Hey, time out. Can we talk about that later or no?
What? The feet fetish?
Yeah, that stuff.
We can talk about whatever, bro.
Oh,
I
okay,
ain't got
coll.
nothing to hide.
Hey, we
Oh,
could
yeah,
talk
no, I'm
about
just-
we
I
could
don't care.
I'm just
yeah,
asking.
I don't.
we could talk about her
How she
viral
used to
feet.
put her foot right next to her face. Man, you were flexible back then.
She didn't take pictures of that.
I mean, damn near she had her foot like.
Oh yeah.
It was
And
a
all
joke.
of that stems from like needing attention because I wasn't getting it from him. So I fully admit
Daniel.
that. Like,
What a Daniel.
do we want to just go into that now, or you want to wait?
Wait, where were we at?
Yeah, so-
we were at breakfast.
Yeah. So then we became really good friends. We didn't start like doing anything.
You wanted to be my boyfriend from the jump and kept inviting me to go out, but I was like, you don't want to be with somebody like me. I'm in a really horrible situation. Like, I'm broken up with my boyfriend, but we still live together. He's crazy. Like, you don't want none of these problems, but you wouldn't leave me alone.
Yeah, which is why kids or whoever's listening to this, you should just be with one person and do things the right way. Get married, then move in, then have babies. Don't do it in reverse because it causes problems that you don't need.
100%.
Do things God's way, and
Big facts.
and it always works. I'm not saying that the Bible says God makes all things work together for those who love Him and are the called according to His purpose. So if you have a kid and then move in and whatever, like God can still work those things out. But the best way to do it is
God's way.
become best friends,
Yeah.
date for a while, then get married, then move in, then have kids.
Yeah.
But we did not do that. We met in a strip club, and I
Went
was
backwards.
getting high on Percocets and morphine and getting drunk and doing all gambling and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And yeah, it wasn't until
It's
like
just a recipe for disaster.
I don't know 5-6 years ago I stopped being a moron. Like completely. So yeah.
That's debatable.
Yeah, true. I was like 35 when I
Just-
left the strip
just get-
club. Now I'm about to be 40. So, yeah, anyways.
How did I leave the strip club?
So, we can tell the story.
I mean, you could tell the story.
I had like a side chick, and I went to move to San Diego to help my dad, and you ended up moving with me. And when you quit,
No, that's not how it went down.
I'm
Go
saying
ahead, Amy.
before you left,
Before I left to go move there, you made it seem like you wanted to go help your dad, but I think really you were using that as an excuse, like, oh, let me get myself up out this situation and I'm just going to tell her I'm going to move. And
Well,
then
no.
I'll leave all my problems behind and hopefully neither of them find out about each other.
I was so young and immature. I don't even wasn't thinking like that.
That's for sure what he was thinking.
100%.
No, my dad presented an opportunity to me. He needed my help, and like I was done. I had got tired of the life that I was living. Yeah, the lies that I was doing, and it was a good opportunity, to go home and do the right thing. And you came with me. So you actually,
Well, I
that's when I
didn't come
really,
with you right off the bat.
that's
So
when I
I
really
helped you
felt like,
move.
that's when I really found out like you actually loved me, because you like gave up a job where you're making over $1,000 a day to come live with me in a room in my dad's house.
I think that's because I didn't have anybody else here. And so if you were to move and we were to break up, I would have nothing and I could not continue working there with that other girl working there. Like I would have killed her. So and I mean I saved her from getting fired too.
Yeah.
What year was this? Just for me, because I remember. I
Over
know you
10,
guys.
over 10 years ago.
2000.
So when I met you, you guys were still together
I
in
met
the
you
club?
after that. No.
Oh shit. Oh okay. So
So
like 11 or 10, 10, 11.
yeah.
Something like that,
So
yeah.
we left. We went there for like 6 months. It was hard because obviously she couldn't just forgive me. You know, that's another thing too. Like when you're unfaithful and you cheat on someone and they stick with you, it's like there's a lot of like hills you have to climb and a lot of healing, and especially when you're young, it's like a lot to figure out. So she couldn't like just forgive me, and I couldn't like just force her to forgive me. So
Well, I think you were the most familiar thing to me. So if you were to move, I would be here with nothing, and that scared me more than like trying to figure. I was like, oh, I'll figure out how to work it out
Yeah,
with
because
him
you
or
came from
whatever.
the East Coast over here by yourself.
Yeah.
which is crazy. Why did you like? I mean, with your other boyfriend and stuff, they did similar things to you. Why did you stick with me?
I don't know. I've gotten cheated on in every single relationship I've ever been in, and it was nothing for me to be like, bye.
Same. You're the only person that's not ever cheated on me that I've been with, and yeah, it was easy. Those were all easy.
For some reason, you would do that stuff to me, and I would know. I just knew that wasn't who you were. But also, I had God in my ear telling me to show you unconditional love. So God was telling me what to do, and then you slowly began showing me who you started showing me and becoming who I always knew you were supposed to be, like the man you were supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true. Like the whole time everything I did was so fake and not me, like not who I am. And I knew it the whole time, but I think a lot of people can like a, attest to that. Like they do stuff, even like people buy stuff to look cool for people that don't even know who they are. It's like, we should not be doing stuff for anybody except for to glorify God. And yeah, that was like the opposite of who I
It's
am.
hard when you're in that environment. Like
Yeah.
for a guy, it's almost expected for you to be like with more than one girl and
Yeah.
have all kind of money, have a nice car, like that's the lifestyle.
Yeah, it's
in the
like a
club.
game. It's
Yeah,
a complete
it's
game.
fake and it will wear out at some point, but
Yeah.
it's kind of as a dude, it's like expected of you almost. Like you would kind of be weird if you weren't like that
Yeah, which is
in that
crazy to think
environment.
about.
Yeah. Because
Like,
you didn't start out like that.
no.
You had, and I don't want to like take the blame off of you, but you kind of had influences that I'm sure swayed you to
I
be
think
like that.
I think all that stuff comes from your past, though, right? Your childhood,
Yeah,
whatever you went through.
100%.
Because as you're saying that, that also comes with being a young male, like in high school, growing up. Like you got all your friends that are like dating so many girls and all that stuff. And as you were saying that, I was thinking about me. Like I didn't care, and that was a thing that men do, right? Like have multiple girlfriends, just go out, do stuff.
Yeah, it's like
And I was
cool.
never
Guys.
like that. So, but I'm just saying because of my experiences and what I've been through and what made me, right? So when you're saying that about D, I'm thinking about what he went through in his past to make him like that, to make him feel like he needs to put up a front for people to accept him. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of realized quickly that he had abandonment issues. Like, I think your mom leaving you at a young age was a lot of the reason. And that was another thing God kept telling me. Like, you need to show him unconditional love. He's never experienced that. He's used to people leaving. So I kind of had to be, I guess, like the sacrificial lamb. Like, okay, you're going to take some hits, but ultimately it's going to make you better and it's going to make him better and your relationship will be better for it. It took years, but it's like when you hear God telling you something, what was I going to do? I tried to tell God no. He was like, get up. You ain't done.
I think that's when you get married and you have a wife and you have a person like that in your life. It just shows you like what the actual purpose of being married is, which is like you're serving someone else. It's not just about you. You can't be selfish. You're not always going to get what you want. Most of the time you're going to be so like opposite in the way you do and view things, and it takes work. And I think that the best relationships are the ones who are like not necessarily like getting cheated on, but you go through some hard stuff together and it just brings you closer together.
But that's inevitable. Like
Yeah.
any relationship ever on this planet is gonna have heartaches and
Yeah.
troubles. You know what I'm saying? That's inevitable.
Yeah.
There's no perfect relationship
Facts.
on this planet.
Facts.
Not one.
Yep.
But yeah, I 100% take full ownership of my actions, and thank God, like I'm not like that at all anymore, you know. But yeah, like my mom left when I was 6, then she came back, and then she died when I was 18, and then
When did she come back? I've never asked you that.
so
You were
she
6, and when did
she
come
was
back?
like she came back and was like around when I was younger, but it was like maybe a week in here or there, and not like
Well, when she fully came back.
when I was in high school. I had like my own room at her house, and we got really close. And yeah, like when I say during high school, and then my mom moved like maybe once or twice a year my whole life until my senior year in high school. She settled down. She got remarried. Everything was good, and then she got cancer. And it was like February of my senior year, she got diagnosed with cancer, and then that September, like my first week in college, she died. And then that same week, I found out that my girlfriend was cheating on me. Like I was sleeping on the floor in the hospital, like the 3 days before my mom died, and my girlfriend was like getting up to answer phone calls from this dude that she's cheating on me with. And then like the next week she breaks up with me. I found out like but all that stuff, but it was a blessing to me because it kind of numbed me to my mom dying. But it also like jacks you up. And then I took her back. She cheated on me again, and took her back again. And it's like it was just a mess when you don't do things God's way. It's like you're so insecure about stuff, and you try to, and you're in pain. You lost a parent. I got kicked out of high school before that. It's just like a lot of stuff for a young kid to deal with. When my mom died, I got me and my sister and my stepdad got $93,000 each. So I'm like 18 years old with almost $100,000, like, and I just wanted my mom back, you know. So I spent that money in like 3 months just because I was in pain. So it's a lot of pain. And then after that, you know, I play football. I come here and play football in college, end up hurting my back, having to get back surgery, and then like football career done. So it's like all these things leading up to and meeting you. But yeah, I don't think that all those things should have caused me to hurt you, you know. But I also think that they don't know. But
hurt people though.
Yeah, well, I think that when you've been left and somebody's died and all these crazy things, like we can't control what happens to us, but it's like you at that point you get to in your brain you're like, well, she's gonna leave too, or something's gonna happen, and
Yeah,
so
I definitely think you self-sabotaged
100%.
our relationship.
100%, and that's
Like you were just doing stuff to see if I would leave, and it's like, dang, this girl ain't going nowhere. Like,
yeah,
why she keep loving me?
yeah, and I owe you everything because you didn't leave and you showed you
Nah, you owe God everything because God's the one that was like, you need to do this.
right, but you know the Bible says love conquers all. So God through you showed me what love really is. Just like I have this tattoo on my stomach that says loyalty. when I was the most unloyal person.
Show 'em.
And you tell
Yeah, bust it out.
Show them real quick.
and then like you're telling people, you know, I always tell everybody I love them because when my mom died, that was the last thing she ever said was I love you to me. So I always tell everybody I love them. So but like I didn't know what love really is, like how in the Bible there's multiple different words for love. Like you really agape love me, like unconditional, like no matter what.
Yeah, I've never loved anybody the way that I love you.
Same.
What about your kids?
I never loved
It's
anybody.
different.
I'm just kidding.
I never loved anybody but you. I
Have some
can
bad
honestly
jokes.
say that. Like I have never loved anybody but you because
Oh.
I didn't know what love was until you showed it to me.
Sheesh.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Dang.
But yeah, I forgot what we was even talking about. But yeah, thank you for not leaving me. Now we're about to have another baby. Hopefully it's a girl.
It's gonna be a girl.
God's
I'm believing
good.
for it.
God is good, man. I don't. Every day I'm just in awe of like I don't deserve what I have. I'm just grateful. It's a good place to be in.
So
So yeah. So
You s-
working at the strip club.
oh, you can't. You're gonna go off yours. I can't ask anything.
No, go ahead, man.
You can ask a question.
You're the. Yeah. So that's it. We met in the strip club. Yeah.
Went through a lot of stuff, and God got us through.
What was your favorite thing about working in the strip club?
Daniel.
Leaving.
No, but like you got to sing and stuff like that. Like, what did you?
I became really good at sales, and I think that has helped me with being an esthetician. Like knowing about, so I had to learn about all the different wines, their names, where they came from, what they taste like, because
Yeah.
you want to sell obviously
$100,000
better
bottles.
bottles to
Yeah.
customers, and so that kind of prepped me for knowing all the products. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't be an esthetician and not know your products and like the benefits of each ingredient and all that stuff. So I think that was a good thing for me. I got really good at sales, and in turn I've become really good at like marketing myself and getting good clientele and staying busy. And
I think I want people to see that place is dark and evil and a lot of pain comes out of it. People don't be themselves. They're the worst version of themselves there, but a lot of good, like we met there. We like our relationship grew there. You know, there good people work there. It's not all crazy people, you know. So, but I want people to know like you can get out and be fine and
yeah, you
God.
can live like a square life, and it's cool.
Yeah,
Square life is the best life.
it's the
That's
best.
right.
It's the best.
Yep.
But yeah, did you like when you got to sing and stuff? What was that fun?
It was fun in the beginning, and then I felt like a circus monkey or something. It's, you know what I mean? Because it was like, just send Amy in there. You know,
Yeah, 'cause
I had
you
to
went
sing
from-
for everybody. I had to try to push bottles on people. It wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, you went from like moving here to sing and like for a living to like you love singing but you don't love singing there. Anybody?
No, it's funny that I ended up, doing something where sometimes I would sing. Even now, I get to sing at church. That's awesome. So I'm still using a gift God gave me, but now I'm doing it in like a way cooler way than singing in the karaoke room at a strip club.
What? I did not hear you.
Cutting this part out.
No,
Why?
we keep it in. We're keeping all of it. What were you saying?
Why?
What do you want me to ask?
I thought you wanted to ask about like
Oh, yeah,
your
let-
mom's favorite artist.
No. Let me structure my question. So you guys said that she never cheated on you, but there was a time where she almost did.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
didn't.
Wait. Go ahead and tell the people.
I
And
could have.
And my mom's gonna love this one, and my family, because they'll know who you're talking about, and all the Hispanics out here. But tell them who you almost cheated on D with. Go ahead. Tell the story.
Spock.
Because you guys were together, right?
I tried
Or
to. I
you guys were
tried to.
He
talking.
was cheating, but
No, I'm saying technically you guys were together.
I I think it was like one of our on
What was it?
moments.
Month 1, month 2?
Oh no, we had been dating
Yeah, for a minute.
for
I tried to
minute.
lead you into this question,
All
bro.
right, go
I was
ahead,
like,
cheater.
did you enjoy singing for anybody?
Go ahead, cheater.
So in the Latin
She
world,
tells
there's
me
this
she really
dude.
did. She did cheat
All right,
on me.
I gotta
I
confess
forgive
now.
you. I forgive you. Whatever.
I did.
It's
No.
okay. I forgive
I'm just
you.
kidding. Go ahead.
In the Latin world, Luis Miguel
Latinos.
is like the Frank Sinatra of Latin America.
Damn,
He
you
was
went
like-
straight for it, huh?
He
And
was
said
like
his name.
He was
Yeah.
like the Bad Bunny before
Okay,
Bad
so
Bunny.
he had come in a couple times.
No,
into
you
the
need to
karaoke
elaborate on
room.
who Luis Miguel is. He had the highest
I
grossing.
didn't know who he was
I mean,
when he
this
came
is-
in there.
This is 2023. People could Google him.
I had no idea who he was.
He had the highest grossing tour in Latin America before Bad Bunny. Like, he was the man.
He still is a man.
Yeah.
He's an OG.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have much respect for him, but
Okay, so continue.
okay. So he came into the karaoke room, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 times. And of course, John Lee, I'm sure, was like, go in there, you know, go sing for him, go sell him bottles. He's got girls in there, whatever. He was never weird to me in there. He would closely watch me sing. Like, he would watch me perform. So I didn't get any type of weird vibe off of him. He was always a gentleman in there. So I didn't think anything of it. And then the last night he was there, he told me, hey, I want to fly you out to LA. I want you to be a backup singer for my next tour. You know, give me your phone number. I'll have my person like get in touch with you, set everything up. And I think I only told you and like one other person because I was like, man, like this dude's full of crap.
He wanted you to be a real
I had
backup
no
singer.
idea he was gonna like. Anyway, so I fly out to LA. T.I. ends up being on my flight. I had a better seat than T.I.
TIP?
Shouty.
24s? I can't think of any other song.
That's how my roll. Go ahead.
So he's like going to the back of first class, and I don't know why. I was like, hey, you want to sit next to me?
So Luis Miguel flew you out first class.
Yes.
And then she tried to
On
cheat
the way there.
with
Cheating.
T.I.
That's step number 1. Yeah, you tried
So-
to
And then
cheat.
she tried to get with
Okay.
T.I. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
No, I didn't. So I'm like, hey, you want to sit here? Like, I don't think anyone's sitting here.
If
and
you
I'm
have a
in the first
boyfriend,
row.
if you have a boyfriend, don't ask another man to sit next to you. That's cheating.
You can't say nothing because I already knew
now.
what you was
I
doing.
can now.
And I was just being nice. Like, it wasn't like that.
But just for future
So-
reference,
And I didn't even bring up
look
like
me in my eyes. If you ask another man to sit next to you, and it's
I
not,
would never now.
you should never then.
Only me at church.
Facts.
Yeah, I say Vagina seat all the time.
Save your gene.
I say vagina. I
Say
see that
vagina.
all the time.
Anyways,
I
don't
say
sit next to
vagina
my
all
wife.
the time.
If you want to die, sit next to my wife.
So anyway, I asked him if he wanted to sit next to me. He was like, "Oh yeah, cool." We talked about I think Drake's album. I was reading like a Vibe magazine or something. We had a cup of coffee together.
She,
He
they
asked me
cheated.
why.
She went on a date.
Cup of coffee together.
Cup of coffee in the big
Wow.
times, eh?
He asked me like what I was going to LA for, and then I asked him if he could give me any advice, and he was like, "Man, just keep your head on swivel, man." And I didn't think anything of it, but I really should have kept my
That
head
didn't
on
sound
swivel.
anything
Shouty.
like T.I.
Whatever, bro.
Super
Anyway.
fragilistic
Call me. I'm not your bro.
So I get there,
I'm
I
not your bro.
unpack. They tell me we're gonna have dinner. A car is gonna come pick me up.
Go ahead.
A Maybach comes and picks me up.
You
I
kind of
went
laugh
to-
like that, girl.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I can't do it.
Maybach music.
This is a
Anyway.
good podcast so far.
A Maybach comes and picks me up. I go to the Bel Air Country Club. He's like sitting there already, ordered a bunch of food. It was really nice.
It's super nice.
He like tells me the plan, you know, like, okay, it's going to be a tour at such and such, you know, you're going to be traveling for this amount of time away from your house, whatever. He pushes like 10 grand across the table, like stacks of money.
Was it like live
And
money?
was like, here,
Was
yeah.
it in an envelope or?
No.
So this dude just put,
He just put 10 grand
on
on
the table.
He's showing off.
And was like, go, you know, tomorrow I want you to go on rodeo, you know, go get a really nice dress that you could wear for this show, for this tour, you know, get whatever you want, whatever.
Damn.
Then the next question is, oh, do you have a boyfriend? as like his hands on my knee under the table. I'm like,
Okay, so she sat next to T.I. They shared a cup of coffee with one straw. Then she let a guy put,
With one straw. That's a
no,
good
he
one.
did it.
and then you let Louis Miguel put his hand on your knee.
Okay.
I didn't let him. He just did it.
Did you move your leg away?
I felt very uncomfortable.
I
At
feel
this
like
point.
you're not good at hiding when you're nervous. So I feel
I
like
felt very uncomfortable. And so he was like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" I'm like, yeah. He works at the club.
I
Like,
don't for another
He
100,000.
walked you to the karaoke room. Like, that's my boyfriend. And immediately, like, it got weird. Dinner ended. He like showed me a couple spots in the country club, introduced me to a couple people, and then I went home. Or no, I went back to the hotel. And I think I called you and you were like, "Do you want me to come down there? I'll come down there right now." I'm like, "Nah, dude, it's cool." Like, I just came back to my room. And then the next morning, I ended up having to get a taxi because he was like, his personal assistant or whatever was like, "Yeah, so a driver's not going to be able to take you and you're actually going to leave today. We changed your flight." I think it was still first class. But I had to find a way to the airport. I didn't have no driver to go
then
back
you
to
had
the
those 10
airport.
bands
So basically, you went from backup singer to you going home.
Yep.
to back up, back home.
Because
I mean, there was never any. He sold me a dream that wasn't real. He was just trying to like.
You know,
he wanted you
no,
to be a backup singer in the hotel. Just chill
Yeah.
No,
there.
I think that if you were down, he would have took you on tour and like had you on tour in his hotel
I
room.
don't think so. I think he was really hoping that he could
100%.
just pass me them 10 bands and like I went to his hotel room and then like it would have been done. I probably would have got his driver to take me to the airport still, but before I went to the airport, I was like, okay, well, I think before they called me and told me that
You
they
went
were
and got a
changing,
dress.
yeah, I went and got the dress and stuff. And then they called me and was like, "Yeah, so you're going to have to find your own ride to the airport. And we changed your ticket to today instead of tomorrow." Because I think I was supposed to have another meeting or something that night with him and like a couple other people, like music, something
They hit
like
you up
that.
on like, Señor Luis Miguel is very mad.
Yeah,
You leave. Ahorita.
The money is fake.
it was super awkward. So yeah, that's the story. And then he never came back to the club after that either.
What a jerk.
But didn't he have Tourette's?
He had something going on.
It's called cocaine.
Tics, something.
It's called meth.
I mean,
It's called
Nah,
meth.
I think he's just been around the world. The A1
I've seen
pit.
so many girls.
Yeah.
yeah.
And wanted Amy.
Yep.
Yeah, back
And
when
Amy
I
was like,
in my
"I'm
prime.
cool."
Yeah, I was like,
You're in
"No."
your prime right now.
Look. Real question. Not trying to be funny. Did you think he was attractive?
No,
Like, not even a little bit?
no.
Because I
Because
know
he
how
was
he looks
older
like.
at this
Oh,
point.
okay. Have you seen when he was younger? What about when he was younger? Like when,
Yeah.
Like,
he's
honestly.
He was
attractive.
handsome
He's
when he was
handsome.
young.
Okay,
Younger.
that's it. That's all I want.
But I still, even if he was younger, I still would have said I have a boyfriend because
No,
I'm,
that's fine.
I'm
I was
loyal.
just asking if he
Unless
was.
it's T.I.
Nah,
sharing
even
coffee.
him, I should have to Ti like, "Yo, I'm a singer. You want him?" You know what I mean? I didn't do any of that. I was like, "Do you have any advice for me for when I go out there?" Like, I wasn't trying to.
Damn, I was gonna say something crazy. We're on the pod, though.
I'm not like that. Like,
No,
I'm
you're
not
not.
like
Your
that. I've
integrity.
never had like a one night stand. I'm not that type. I'm just not that
I think
type
that's
of
why we
girl.
lasted, because you're the only girl that I have known that wasn't
wasn't
like that. A flooze.
I
Yeah.
have
A
to love
floozy.
you know?
Thank you for
A
loving me.
Lucy.
Thank you for loving me.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so then after that, we moved to San Diego. You came with me, and then we moved back here 6 months later. They like begged me to come back to work there,
And
and
I didn't want you to go
you didn't want me to go, and I was like,
because I knew what was going to happen.
yeah, it's like in the Bible, you get like, what is it, like a demon gets cast out, and 7 more come back to try to get you. It was like 7 times more temptation. Everything.
7 more girls. Pretty.
Nah.
I wonder if we would have been good and I forgave you off the jump if you would have told them no. Like, nah, I'm cool out here, man.
I think it was a lot of things. Like I went from I could make $1,000 a day to making like $1,000 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that was hard. Not being able to just do normal things. That's a lot.
Yeah, I remember we were eating at Wendy's when we lived there and was like, this is the life.
Yeah, Olive
Because we
Garden
were
was
so
like
broke.
special. But yeah, and then I had the dude that's like my best friend, my brother, calling me. I'd open the lumberyard every morning at 6 to 7, like get everything ready by myself, and I talk to him. And he'd be like, "Man, you gotta come back and let's get this money." Da 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 every day, and then yeah, so we came back like right after New Year's, and like I talked to the GM. He's like, "Come back, please," and but then they didn't hire you back, which I thought was crazy because you were a way better employee than I was.
I was way better than like anybody they
No,
hired back.
didn't you have like a 92% upsell rate?
It was high, yeah.
Which means like so you have to buy a bottle of champagne to go into the VIP room, and the minimum was like 175.
150.
150.
I think it was.
So
but
that means
I would more times than not, 9 out of 10
Yeah.
sell like a $300-$400
Yeah.
sometimes higher than that bottle.
yeah. So and I wasn't like at that point I wasn't like a good like host or whatever. I got really good towards the end. But yeah, you were way better for that club than I was, and they didn't hire you back. So I feel like that was God's like hand on you, not having you go back there. And then yeah, and then we ended up getting pregnant.
Well, we broke up again
Yeah.
when we moved back
Yeah.
here because you needed to give her closure or something.
Loser.
So he tells me to pick him up from work in the back parking lot.
It's a good story.
So I come to pick you up and you're like, hey, I'm just going to go talk to her real quick and like just have a conversation with her so she gets closure. So like my truck was here and then hers was right across. I think you were in that car for like an hour and a half.
I don't remember.
And I was like, man, screw this. Like,
Yeah.
this is so disrespectful. Like,
And
could you imagine if I cheated on you with a dude and was like, hey, I'm just going to go sit in
I'm
the
too
car
insecure
right
for
quick and
to
give him
get
some.
cheated on and stick around.
So I just felt so disrespected that when you got in the car, I was like, you know what? Just go be with her, man. I'm going to go back to San Diego and live with your dad.
And then
and then I dipped. I went back to San Diego.
And then I was like, well, I knew she would leave me. And then I went off in the deep end after that. But then we broke up for like a couple weeks. And then
I had a miscarriage.
Yep.
And
Wait, I didn't know this. Wow. Dang.
so I had thought we were living with Jeff and Hannah, his friends from San Diego, but they lived in Vegas at the time. And he would like go to this girl's house, but they still let me stay there. And
so she didn't move back to San Diego. She stayed.
I went for a couple days and then I came back.
Yeah.
But I had gone off my birth control before we moved back to Vegas. And I had taken a couple pregnancy tests and one of them was like blank. So I had thought maybe I was pregnant. But then when all of that stuff happened, I lost like 10 pounds in a week or something. And I ended up staying with my friend Erica. And I ended up having a miscarriage in her bathroom.
Mm.
And I wasn't going to tell him. And she pushed me like, you need to tell him. Like, it's his kid. You should tell him. And I remember it was like a super rainy night. I text you. The club was super busy. And I thought when I told you, you were going to be super mean to me and just be like, yeah, whatever. And I didn't want to tell you because I thought maybe you would think I was like making it up to get back with you or something, which was another reason why I didn't want to tell you. But I told you and you instantly like broke down. And you were like,
Yeah, 'cause
I
my
got to
fault.
go back in the club.
Because it's my fault.
And so that was like January. And then I think in March, I found out I was pregnant with Christian. And
Yeah.
you were excited and I was terrified because you were living with her at the time. I'm like, how are you excited, bro? What you gonna do? Go home and be like, hey, Amy's pregnant? Whole mess.
God cleaned it up.
Foolish.
It's crazy to like, I'm like sorry every day. Like, but that doesn't make, like, it's not going to help being sorry every day. But, like, bro, that's not who I am. Like, that was such a fake.
I knew that, though.
It sucks that, like, you had to go through that, And then
I
like,
think it made me a better person though, and it strengthened my relationship with God. It's the only, not the only time, but that was the first time I've ever heard God speak to me and like give me instruction and tell me what to do. And there were plenty of times he would tell me to do it, and I'd be like, I'm tired, dude. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I was like, get back up. Yes, you are. We ain't done.
thank God you did. I tell people all the time, like when people praise me or tell me I'm a good person, I'm like, you have no idea. Like I literally am just like people like my wife's godly obedience and like added up is who I am. I am like nothing. I'm scum.
Not
But
anymore.
It's funny because you're so different now that whenever that part of you gets brought up, and I'm like, you can't even picture him being like that, huh? People are like, no, like he's so nice.
I was nice. I was nice.
You were fake nice
Yeah.
back then.
I was very political in the things I did and said. It was all
You were very manipulative.
I was
in
super
the things
manipulative.
in the things you
Like
did.
like she knew everything I was doing, but I would make her feel like she's crazy.
Which was the most insulting.
You were gaslighting her.
That's why you got knocked upside your head that one time.
Yeah,
By who? You?
Me.
one time she had came to visit me when I moved to San Diego, and
I had just found out, like, verified that what I knew was true. Like, one of the waitresses hit me up and told me, yeah, he's been with her for a while.
yeah, so
And he kept lying to me
This
about
is
it.
when you moved to San Diego?
yeah, she
When
was
you
just
moved
This
visiting.
was before I decided to move. We were like trying to work things out, but he had already moved, and I'm like, you need to tell me the truth.
Yeah, so I'm doing like 80 in the fast lane, and she's like, "Stop lying to me." I'm lying to her. She's like, "Tell me the truth." Bap hits me upside my head like she's ready to die about this.
You should have just told him, like, I know. You should have told him everything that you know, and his eyes would have been like,
I still would have lied and denied it, but then when she hit me upside the head, I don't condone hitting anybody upside
I
the
don't
head.
either, but
We almost died.
started telling me
So
the
I
truth.
stopped it. I stopped the car in the fast lane on the freeway. It was at
We went
night.
to Wings and Things, and you told me everything.
Yeah.
Every question I asked, you answered it, and I knew you were telling the truth then.
It's like the Bible says, confess your sins to God to be forgiven, but confess your sins to one another to be healed. And you can't lie.
sheesh.
You cannot lie and expect to be healed. You know, bars from the Bible. So yeah, and I remember too, like I would be driving. I remember before you had came out that trip, I was driving to do like a delivery for the lumberyard, and you're like, just stop lying to me. And like I prayed, I'm like, God, I don't know how to tell the truth, like because at that point I've been going to church Sundays, Wednesdays, like in San Diego, so I'm like getting back close to God. Like I don't know, like I was like, you forget how to tell the truth, but that like knocks some sense
Well, you
upside.
start believing your own lies, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't be. And like I can look back now at the decision I made. Like right now I'm so insulated with like men of God and like people who want the best for me and you and our family. Like that back then there wasn't that. You know, I was just go to church and go to work.
You were around a lot of lost people, too.
Well, bad company corrupts good character.
Well, no, even like when we moved to San Diego, right? Like I got out of the game. I'm working in a lumberyard, squared, normal human being.
That's why I asked you if I would have forgave you fully, if you think you would have moved back. Because I think me still being angry and not yet being able to forgive you and move on was one of the main reasons why you
Yeah,
went
but
back.
you can't take the blame for that because you have to think about.
Well, I just wonder if I would have forgave you and things would have been cool between us if you would have went back to the club.
I think that the percentage of me not going would have went up, but right now I think the community we have, leading small groups, baptizing people,
serving in the kids.
being on staff at church now, serving in the kids, serving the connection center, you know, like all these things. It's that plus you not leaving and forgiving me completely, and like just all of that combined. Now it's like there's no way I would rather die. Like I had
Our friends getting saved.
exactly Gene. Like I can't go back to that, you know. Like Gene, seeing how big of a piece of crap I was for a decade, you know, I can't go back to that, bro.
Would you say I'm the only person that still knows you from back then? Like on the daily or just
Yeah, like that
regularly.
you're friends with still and talk
Yeah.
to.
Do you think I'm the only one?
No, because people hit me up on Instagram all the time.
Nah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, but Gene
like I'm
was your
here.
friend then, and now you guys are
We have
even
a
better
we have a
friends now.
podcast, bro.
Well, Gene,
Yeah, we're like family now.
well, Gene is, I was making a lot of money then, and I would buy people crap all the time, and I buy Gene crap all the time, and then
Like what?
I don't know,
I don't
just
remember.
random crap. Let's go see Jay-Z and sit in great seats and
Oh yeah.
spend $4,000. Like, didn't matter, Like, I'll pay the rent for the shop. You don't have to worry about it. Like, I got plenty of money. You'll never see me. I'll cut like 2 days a week, type thing, And then I quit the club. We had $934 to our name. She was 5 months pregnant with Corinthian, and Gene didn't leave. He wasn't like, "Oh, you're a loser." Like, Gene held me down for the last 5 years. He's been holding me down. Like, so yeah, I would say 100% Gene.
Thanks, Gene.
Like Gene seen both sides and never switched up. But yeah, like there's other people too, but I'm not as close to anybody as I am to Gene, from then, like from before to now.
Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, you too.
There's a bunch of people from the club though that have come to our church because of our testimony and our story,
And they
we
see it.
baptized some of them too, which is
Yeah.
so dope.
Yeah, I it blows my mind when I see like different pimps or prostitutes come to the club and that from the club.
What are their names?
Nah.
That was a good one, huh?
But they come to church, they get to know God, then they find freedom, and then now they're making a difference, which is exactly what's so funny.
City Light mission statement.
It's true.
I know. It's just funny.
Like I can
You played that off like that was your own. That ain't your own.
No, that's the whole.
We'll send this clip to City Lights so they
That's-
can post it.
It's the whole.
It's
It just
their mission
well,
statement.
it's proof that our church is
Our church is amazing.
able to accomplish those things.
I know.
Like you have a mission and we're accomplishing it.
100%.
But yeah, it blows my mind, and it's just gonna keep growing,
It is.
because we actually love this city. I'm not, like I said, there's people in that club that like we don't need to hate them, because I was them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't hate anybody.
No, we need to love. Like Jesus was hanging out with the prostitutes and the mafia, like the tax collectors, and like I don't think he was hanging out with these elite. Like all the Pharisees and Sadducees were like coming after him. That's the people who killed him, So I don't know. I think I can.
I definitely learned to love my enemies through
Yeah.
our relationship.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even like that girl, that I cheated on you with. I want her to go to heaven. I want everybody to go
Me
to
too.
heaven. I think a lot of times too, the enemy will send people on assignment to like get to interrupt what God is doing, and they don't even know it. Like subconsciously, they're like he's using them as like a pawn or like a chess piece, but God already won. So it's like God already wrote this story. He just redirects you to back. Pastor Jabin was talking about this on Tuesday. It's like your obedience is important, but your willingness to obey is more important than the actual obedience, because even a dog, he didn't say this, but like even a dog can obey. It's like you want somebody who's willing to obey. God gives us our own free will. He wants us to be able to make the decision. Just like we have kids, like we want our kids to obey us, but we want them to do it out of their own free will, out of their own heart,
Mm-hmm.
So like that's how you have to kind of look at it. Like we all are capable of that, but like the Bible says, the Lord loves a cheerful giver. Like the stuff we should be doing should be like out of the overflow of how much like God loved us first. We didn't have to do anything to deserve it. He just loves us. So we should be showing people that.
He's like a father.
Yeah.
He is a father.
The best father.
Yeah. Just like how our kids, they don't have to do nothing.
Nope.
They could do the worst things ever. We'll still love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus loves you.
Do you have any questions? I have a couple.
What did you want to ask her?
Um, so when you left the club and then you became a mom, how did you handle like I don't think you really put your identity into working in that club, but it's like you kind of lose your independence and now you're like a mom. How do you transition over from that?
It was really hard for me because I've worked since I was 14 and made my own money, whether it was babysitting or like working in retail stores in the mall. So it was very scary for me to have to rely on somebody else to take care of my bills and stuff like that. I'm grateful with Christian that I had that time because I was able to do the things and take care of the things to get him to where he is now.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be talking if it wasn't for you and
Well, and
God.
God.
Yeah.
But once he was able to go to school and like we got a diagnosis and like figured out how to help him, I knew that I wanted to pursue something and get a career. It bothered me when people be like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a mom. I'm a wife." And that's
Which
not
is the most important job.
But
Yeah,
that's not
it's
nothing to be ashamed of,
Never.
no. For
At all.
me, being a stay-at-home mom was the hardest job I have ever done. Like props to every mom who is a
Props to
stay-at-home
anybody who
mom.
Yeah.
stays at home by themselves with their kids that have no help.
Yeah, like it's so you get no breaks. It's kind of like a thankless job. It was the hardest job ever. But now that I'm getting older, I never thought I would want to be a stay-at-home mom again, but I'm kind of feeling God nudging me not to like not work at all, but definitely to let you take the lead
Yeah,
and
because
like
he has
me be
10
there
jobs.
for
He has 10 jobs now.
and for me to be there for now
Thank God.
3 kids.
Yeah, so how are you going to make sure you don't lose your identity as an esthetician or like you heal people, you know? How do you make sure? Because I don't think you should put your identity in anything besides what God wants you to do. But
Well, and here again, feeling that nudge of, hey, you need to be at home more. I'm not gonna tell God, nah. It's hard for me. It's definitely a challenge. Even you telling me to adjust my schedule now, it's like, ugh, it's like scary
But listen to the
and
man.
hard.
yeah, and I got you, man.
Listen to the man.
I ain't going
He's
back.
guiding you
I
the right way.
I told you this, but I had the number one entertainer in the club hit me up. This was a couple years ago, and asked me. She had like a boyfriend that was a billionaire, and they wanted to open a club to compete with the one I worked at. And I didn't have to think about it. Like, I'm not going back. I would rather die. Like, I'm down to
I
die.
don't think I'm worried about you wanting to go back.
But you shouldn't worry about anything. Like I
I
feel
like working. I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like a job to me. So I do want to keep that part of me. I do want to still be an esthetician. I just know that being a wife and a mother it comes first.
yeah, yep.
And that's
It's
honorable.
more important.
It's
way more important.
way more important.
Because that's what we're here to do. We're living for our family.
Hmm.
You're raising the kids, making sure they're good. That's
Well, yeah, and your family is the most important thing, you
Yep.
know?
big facts.
I love my clients, but they don't love me like you guys love me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they know family comes first too.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Like, as you go into your 40s, like what's the next chapter?
I'm about to be 39.
I'm saying you got a year and a month. Like, where do you see? What's the vision for the future for you?
Being the best mom ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, being a mom, being a wife, balancing everything, like finding balance in life and kind of stepping more into my feminine because I feel like
I need that.
I've been stuck in my masculine energy because of the things that happened in our relationship. Like, even though we've healed from that, in my mind, well, what if he does it again? I have to have a job. I
He
have
won't
to
do
be
it
able
again.
to
I'd
take
rather
care of
die.
He won't do it again. I'll shoot him in
I'll
the
get
chest.
stoned.
I'll shoot him in the chest for you. For real.
I think it's just like a security blanket for me. You know what I mean?
So I just need to make sure I get like 100 racks and just put it in an account that I can't touch.
Give her 10,000 on a date.
Yeah.
Go to Rodeo.
touch your knee.
Get a
10,000 on a
and
table.
get a dress.
Think about that for a second. Oh man,
Can you sing
it's a
for
good
me?
story.
It is a great story. What do you want? Like, do you have a message for your kids? You got some
Enough questions, man.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
just kidding.
come
No,
on.
go
What you
ahead.
got?
That was a good one. Go ahead. I heard it was. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Do you have like a message for your kids or grandkids that'll watch this someday? What's something you want to tell them?
The kids that are in the living room right now.
That I
Yeah.
did the best that I could with what I had, and I wasn't perfect, but
Yeah, you are.
no,
You're perfect
but
for me.
I love them with everything I have, and I made sure that God was their foundation. Yeah, I just did the best that I could, and live for God.
Fire.
Try to always do what I think God would want me to do in life.
You're such a blessing. I like how the Bible says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." I know that the favor that is on me is because of you, and I'm so grateful for you. And I love you, and I'm sorry for everything I ever did. And thank you for not leaving me, and I will make you proud. I
I
promise.
am pretty cool.
You are.
Took me a long time to think that.
And you're
but
beautiful.
I'm
And
really
you just
cool.
like get better and better too.
Thanks.
Thank you for getting better and better.
Anyways, I'm about to ask the questions people really want to hear.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
Let's
No, I'm
go.
playing. I'm just joking. I
playing.
wanted to make it seem like it was gonna be super cool. So back in the day,
When I
you
was
were a
young-
feet model.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the people. I bet you people that are watching this, people from church, don't know that you were a feet model.
Yeah.
That you made $100,000 a day.
Man, I wish.
I'm just kidding.
You could have.
Tell us about that.
So
What
the
happened?
reason why
How
I
did you gain like 50,000 followers out of nowhere?
Okay, so I got a pair of clear heels, like those clear strappy heels,
Yeah.
and I took a picture wearing them, like just my feet. Like,
Did
oh,
you
these
do
shoes are
hashtags?
so cute.
Did you do hashtags?
I think I did, like cute
'Cause I feel like-
shoes or like clear sandals or
I
something.
feel like back then hashtags worked.
and
or
my
something.
phone just
Yeah.
like blew up.
That's
like,
wild.
I'm like, what is going on? I'm getting all these likes on this picture. And then like a couple people that have feet pages were hitting me up like, can I repost this? Can I repost this? And I'm like, oh yeah, like okay, cool. And then my page just kept growing, and
Then it got out of control because she would take all my money because I was cheating on her and spend it on clothes to take
yeah,
pictures
so
of her feet.
Well,
because
she
he
got that
wasn't
attention.
Really, yeah, so
Yeah.
because he wasn't like paying me attention, I still believed in God, but I wasn't living for God. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I needed to feel validated with guys giving me attention because my husband wasn't. So like every day that was my thing. Like I would take Christian to school, I'd make content, post different outfits, but like I would have no shoes on.
You would post your
post
foot by
my
your
pedicures,
face.
and then my page just kept blowing up.
Which is, if you think about like pornography and
It's
like,
horrible. I'm like embarrassed now because I don't want other guys looking at me like that, which is why I started a whole new page.
yeah,
And I deleted all those pictures from the old one because I don't like, I will never deny that it like I needed validation and I needed attention, but I'm not that person anymore.
Can I
don't
just
need
say that feet fetish is weird?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think it's weird anymore.
For the record,
I don't
think-
think it's weird anymore.
in my opinion,
I think if you have like your wife and you want to rub her feet, whatever. But
that's different.
if you're
bro,
like, no, it's hear me out. If that's like you look at every foot and you're looking for a smooth arch, or I don't know, whatever. And like that's your thing. It's just like with anything. It's like if you
Yeah, like if you're a boob guy or a
Yeah,
butt guy.
anything-
Some people
But
that's
are
different.
feet guys.
Nah, bro.
that's different because the hips and the behind are in us to for attraction for males. You know what I'm saying? For
Initially-
reproduction purposes.
Yeah,
like if you see
like-
white hips, a bigger booty, men tend to be
Okay, with
attracted
your
to
girl,
that.
would you?
You don't see the feet like that. That's why I think it's weird. In my opinion.
But if you could pick, would you want your girl to have really pretty
Yes,
feet, or
of
you wouldn't
course.
care?
Oh, I wouldn't care. Because
Nah,
I feel
care.
like it wouldn't
If
be
you could pick, would you
There-
want her to have busted feet or pretty feet?
exactly
feet.
pretty feet.
Pretty
You
feet.
gave me the don't care. I feel like with the don't care, she would have some decent feet. I mean, I'm not looking at them like.
So there's people that are into feet where like
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just
where
saying
like
it's
a
weird.
girl's face could be but if she got supreme feet, she in there. So it just depends on your preference. I thought it was super weird at first too, but then I started low key like appreciating people that took care of their feet and had nice feet.
Yeah, I think
My
you
feet are
don't get to
horrible.
pick.
I just don't want anyone lusting after me
Exactly.
anymore
I got you.
because it's wrong.
I got you. I was just
Exactly.
saying that feet fetish is weird.
Yeah,
That's it.
Not everyone thinks
any
it's actually really common,
No.
but I think because a lot of people think it's weird, people don't.
any
Guys are afraid to talk
any
about it.
fetish is weird. Anything where you're looking at multiple women, multiple partners,
Well, yeah, if you're lusting after somebody, that's not.
that's not okay, bro. That's just gonna cause destruction in your family. It's gonna, when you do find the right woman, you're not gonna be able to give her everything because you're gonna be thinking about all the other stuff that you thought about. Pornography is so bad. Like, not only for little kids that are gonna see this weird stuff now. It's like grown ups. It's an addiction. You could be addicted to it. You know.
Yeah.
It's just another tool that the enemy uses to try to get us off of what God's plan is.
100%.
So yeah.
What else you got?
What? I don't know. That was a good one. You thought I was gonna ask something crazy.
I did.
Something profound. What are you gonna do this time around? Birthing wise.
I think I would like to have.
That would be different from the past.
So I had 2 C-sections with both of the boys. Christian, I had to be induced. And I labored for 23 hours and really wanted to have a natural birth. I didn't take no epidural, no nothing.
That's crazy.
I was shaking, throwing up.
Shaking in my boots.
Like, I was determined to have Christian natural, but my body just wouldn't dilate. And I think it's because he was almost 10 pounds. My body was like, sis, we ain't doing this. So I had to have an emergency C-section. With Corinthian, he was 2 weeks early, and I was in labor and didn't even know I was in labor. And I feel like I wish I would have advocated to try to have him natural. But because I had already had a C-section with Christian, it was kind of like, okay, well, let's just do a C-section. But looking back now, I wish I would have tried to have him natural.
So this girl,
So
what do you do?
With my
Sonny.
daughter,
With Sonny.
I would really like to try to have a home birth, and I think I want a midwife. So I have a consultation next week for the midwife. And the midwife is actually the daughter of a pastor who prophesied that I was going to have a baby girl a year and a half ago
Wow.
when she came to get a facial. Well, she told me all kinds of stuff, but she asked me, oh, like, how many kids do you have? And I told her I have 2 boys, but I'm done. And she said, well, what about the little girl? I see a little girl. I'm like, not for me, you don't. And now here we are. So if Sunny ends up being a little girl, she prophesied it over me a year and a half ago.
So
her daughter is a midwife, and that's who I want to do a consult with and potentially use to have this baby.
Do you have any what is the word? Fears about it? Just because it's not something you've done before, because
I
I
think
feel like
didn't want to get pregnant again because this is the heaviest I've ever been in my life pregnant. I'm older.
Heavy.
I've had 2 C-sections.
she ain't a lady unless she
180. You feel me?
But now that I'm pregnant, like, I literally got pregnant in 3 months. So I just believe, and like the prayers that we prayed before we had this baby, I'm not afraid. Like, I know God's got it.
100%.
And I truly feel like I'm supposed to feel my baby leaving my body, because I didn't get to experience that with Christian or Corinthian. Because they hit you with a spinal tap, they lay you out on the table, they put a sheet, and then they just like melt your skin off and cut you open. And
Nah. God's will is
and
going to
this
be
way,
done. God,
like,
it's going to be
Christian and
God's
Corinthian
way.
can be there and see their baby sister being born.
Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be beautiful. It's blessed. I never prayed.
And then I could
to
go
have a
lay in my
baby.
bed. I don't got to be in the hospital.
It's going to be awesome.
But I feel like he's not all the way on board with it yet.
Nah, I'm there. I'm with you.
Oh, all right, let's go. So yeah, that's the plan. it might not happen. My plan was to have Christian natural. That didn't happen, but he's great.
So I had a question. You got any more questions?
Maybe, but go ahead.
Good, not good. I got one last question.
Oh, one last one?
Yeah, what you got?
What's the last one about? Mine has to do with her pregnancy still. But
I like these pregnancy questions.
I think you should do a whole
Here we go.
series on skincare for pregnant
Here
girls.
we go. Ready?
Yes.
Have you had any surprising or unexpected joys during this current pregnancy that you didn't experience before? Even if it's, because I know it's early, but anything that stands out?
I think you've had more pain than anything else.
Yeah, I think, well, it's joyful because I am excited to be pregnant again. Even though for 2 years I kept telling you no, I feel like God put it in my heart to have another baby, and I truly believe He's going to bless us with a daughter.
Amen.
And her name, has very sentimental meaning. And it was definitely hard not being able to tell your sister because she kept telling us to have more kids.
Yeah.
And so even though, we have a cloud of witnesses and I'm sure she knows, not being able to call her and hear her laugh and excitement and just be there to tell everything too sucks. But it is what it is. Just continue to honor her with, the things that she loved.
Which kind of brings me into my last question, which is, like last week was 2 years since, like it's our sister, because that was like your best friend, passed away. And then we do like an announcement that we're having a baby. My grandma dies that Monday. It's like that was a really hard week, and now we're on the other side of it. It's like when you have weeks like that, when it's like joy and pain, like how do you get through those type of weeks?
I don't know. I feel like this year it was harder for you, and you're really good about being there for me when I'm grieving, but I'm not the greatest when you're grieving because I don't see it that often, and I panic and I don't know what to do, and I kind of like shut down. So I thought the week was going to be harder for me this time than it was like last year and the year before that. And like it was. But I did find joy in announcing our pregnancy on the day that she passed away and doing it in a sunflower field. And
Yeah. Same. I think I can look back in my life at all the hard things I've been through, like my mom passing away, my sister passing away, like those really hard things. And God has always gave me like back more than I deserve for whatever it is I lost, It's not like God took them away from like.
what's really commendable about you though, and I actually told one of my clients this today about you, is that you've been through a lot of trauma in your life, but you're like the most positive person I know.
That's because of what the Bible says, man.
I know, but
we got to
it's
stand on God's word. If
it's
we believe,
commendable. And I
it's not
told
me.
her
Yeah,
that
it's God, 100% God.
I
ain't
told
me.
my client today that I wish I was more like you in that regard, because
Then
you
be more
just
like
try to
God.
find the silver lining in everything. Sometimes it's annoying, but honestly, overall, it's a very commendable trait.
Thank you, but
Because I think most
it's
people
me.
take the things that happen to them and they want to be a victim, and you aren't like that. You'll say stuff like, "Well, it could always be worse."
Yeah,
My life could always
our
be
life.
worse.
Every day when we wake up,
Every day.
it's a gift. You're opening gifts all day. I heard Myron Golden say this. From the time you open your eyes, you're opening your eyes. That's a gift.
Yeah.
You can hear. That's a gift. You can walk. You can give.
We take it for granted.
You can make a coffee. You can use your hands. You can open things. Like it's all gifts. So, like 100%, my life has been worse. My grandma just died last Monday, the week that my sister died 2 years ago. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna be doing the like the committal at her funeral 2 days before the anniversary of my mom dying. And the Bible says, count it all joy when we fall into various trials, knowing that those things produce perseverance, and perseverance produces patience. So if I could be the most patient person there ever was. But, I have great people around me, and I know that you guys got my back. So I know where God's leading us, and I ain't got time to. It's okay to like grieve and be sad and stuff like that, but I'll never forget when my mom died. I couldn't cry. Like I wasn't crying, and my grandma that just passed away was punching me in my chest, telling me like you need to let it out. So when you guys are sad, like it's okay to cry and let it out and be sad, but then you gotta get this in you. Like if you have the hope that what the Bible says is you're absent from the body, present with the Lord. So anybody you love that passes away and they believe in Jesus, they're going to be present with the Lord. So that's why one of the many reasons why we should believe that Jesus came. He died for our sins. He rose again. He conquered the grave. Like we have that same power in us, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is if we have that hope, if what we believe is the truth, like if we really believe what we believe, then it's okay to be sad, cry, mourn, and then have hope that you're going to see them again.
Why do you think you were so emotional with your grandma passing?
Because it's the last, she should have passed first, right? She's the oldest, the grandma, but my mom passed, then my sister, and then her. So it's like a long line of women who had really hard lives passing, going on to be with Jesus. And it's like,
Did you say she didn't even know Stephanie passed?
yeah, they didn't tell her. She was 85 when she passed away. So my sister passed, she's 83. But yeah, when she gets to heaven, I don't know how it works when you get to heaven, but I can just imagine.
Stephanie, is that you?
Yeah, how'd you get here before me? You know. But yeah, my grandma it was my last grandparent, and I just I went straight back to when my mom passed away and my grandma telling me you gotta let it out, and it's hard,
I
man.
haven't seen you that upset in a really long time. So it was like,
Plus, I'm upset because I'm not financially where I want to be. So, this season in my life, it's a season, right? It's not going to last forever. It's hard because it's like I want to be generous like how I was when I had a grip of money, and I want to be able to fly and go see my nephews on the week when my sister passed away. I want to go fly and see like my grandma like before she passed away, but you can't do that stuff. So it's just like you reap what you sow, though. So if I would have been more responsible, if I would have been a better steward of what I've already been blessed with, then my family wouldn't be in this situation. But it's just a reminder, like you reap what you sow, you reap more than what you sow. So make sure you're not eating your seed. Make sure, like what Pastor Jabin said in his leadership podcast this week was good. Like build your house on a foundation of generosity. And he's one of the most generous people I ever met in my life, Pastor Shannon.
yeah.
So that's where I want to be, even if I don't have that much, I want to be generous. And, we're surrounded by some generous people, Josh, Tasha, like all the Mac, and like all these people. I can name people, Omar, like all these people are so generous. Dan, like I could go on and on and on. Gene, every time he needs to leave, I'm like, no, just stay. Like he's generous with his time. Like he knows I need him
That's
around.
the most valuable.
I hold them down.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to leave anybody out, but there's like a million people that are generous.
I feel like everybody now that we surround ourselves with is just really solid, good people.
Yeah. So, it's just, I know I have a vision that God put in my mind of where I need to go. So now it's just, we got to get there. And, Yeah. So
Come
I guess
home.
I guess your answer to your question is, why was I so emotional this time? I think
You answered
this
it, I feel
this
like.
podcast is about you. It's not about me. No. Yeah, it was a hard week, you know. Yeah. I think emotions for men are different than women because we suppress and hide our emotions. So when one of them's like you can't control it, it's like out of control, you know. Just like men will like hold in their feelings and then like lash out, because that's something men need to learn, is to like communicate better and not hold all that aggression in. But that's the beautiful thing about a marriage, is that when you have a real partner and you can talk about stuff and you know, like, you're not leaving, I'm not leaving. We're going to figure this out. We have too much important stuff to like give up. Like, once you have that, like, you can work things out. You know, no matter what, it's going to be okay. So like when you're laying there in bed and you feel like you're all alone, even though your spouse is next to you, it's like, you're not alone. Like, it'll be okay. Especially God is the center of your relationship. If God's the center of your life, everything will be okay.
Facts.
Yep, and the grass ain't greener on the other side.
That's right.
Is green where you water it at.
That's right.
I don't care about the grass, but I know heaven's streets of gold.
All right.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, you got anything else?
No, that was it.
Episode 8, would you mind coming back another time?
I'd love to come back. This was fun.
Just shoot the stuff.
I'm honored
No,
to be your first guest.
it was our honor. You're honorable. Appreciate you. Love you. I'm
Anything
sorry.
else you want
I'm sorry
tell
for
the
everything.
people?
You break
You?
up with me or something. I'm sorry for everything I ever did to you. I'll never do it again. I'd rather die.
Word.
to? Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Just love God, love others. It's the key to life.
Facts.
When you hear God, obey.
And don't be gay. I have to say. Should I give that in there?
I'm happy.
That's why it was a big pause.
I'm happy. I'm happy all the time, bro.
I mean, you can be as gay as you want.
Yeah, one man, one woman. We talked about this before, bro.
I think I might cut all this out. Yeah, but anyways, is that it?
Don't be a lot of things, bro. Don't be a liar. Don't steal. Don't cheat.
Yep. Don't lust.
Yeah.
I'm cutting all this out.
All right. We'll put this back in right now. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you guys too.
Thank you for everything. You guys are. I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for you guys. Thank
You wouldn't be me if it wasn't for you guys.
You guys are a solid foundation.
Yeah, me and Gene are pretty cool.
I got Jesus as my foundation, and then you too. I can't lose.
propping you up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I got a bunch of other people too. Game over.
And you got
Game
10
over.
jobs.
Game over. God wins. Hey man, you know.
You don't love cutting here.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he does.
I love everything. I'm thankful for everything I get to do right now. I'm just gonna keep getting better
You're
and better.
shush gonna.
All right. Chatty Patty. That was the end of the podcast. You keep going. Chatty
It's good.
Patty.
We'll end there. Love you guys.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.